Hey guys, Angelo here from Team Spider. Welcome to the first tutorial and hopefully a series of tutorials for Blender. Today I'm just going to teach you how to move around in Blender 2.65a. So let's get started. If you don't already have Blender, go to blender.org, which I'll just show you how to do. Find the download tab and find your correct system. There's Windows 32, Windows 64, and then any other operating systems. Make sure you select 64 bits. If you have a 64-bit machine, it'll just make it run smoother. After following the download prompts, open up Blender. Give it a second, and this is how most of your startup screens will look like. I'm just going to turn on screencast keys. You won't need to do this, but I'm just going to turn those on so you can see what I'm doing by looking in the lower left-hand corner. Before we do anything, I'll just go through what all these boxes and buttons are, or just the boxes for now. To your left is your object tool list. This will be for editing the current selected object, which right now is a cube. At the bottom, you will see your 3D view toolbar. It's right here. In the middle, this whole area, is your 3D viewport. To the right is going to be your properties list. This will be very important later on. At the top is your info bar. Okay, now that we have everything named, let's take a look at the viewport. In the viewport, we have a cube, a light, and a camera. There isn't a specific reason why they're all here when you start up Blender, but it'll be good for us to use. Before we do anything with these, let's take a closer look at the viewport. At the top left, we have our current view, which is right now is the user perspective. We'll get into that later. At the bottom, it shows three axes. The Z, which is blue, X, which is red, and Y, which is green. It also shows us what we have selected, and if you look on the viewport, the item selected will be in light orange or yellow. Now let's actually do something. Let's begin by changing the view. We can use the numpad for this. At the end, I'll also go over how to change views if you don't have a numpad. Okay, so first ones you should know are numpad 1, numpad 3, numpad 7, and numpad 5. Numpad 1, when pressed, brings you into front view. You can see this by going to your upper left-hand corner where it says front perspective. Numpad 3 will bring you to the right perspective. Numpad 7 would be top perspective. Now, numpad 5 changes your view from perspective to orthographic. Orthographic is a 2D view of an object, as if you were to draw a square on a piece of paper. Perspective is that as if you were looking at a physical object in real life, like a Rubik's Cube. Orthographic is useful when you're trying to make something from a drawing. Let's continue. The next keys you may want to know are numpad 2, 4, 6, and 8. Let's switch to front view, which is numpad 1. As you can see on the numpad, these numbers also have arrows. If I hit numpad 2, it moves my view down. Numpad 4, left. Numpad 6, right. And numpad 8, up. These are helpful if you don't have a middle mouse, which is the next thing I'm going over. By clicking in the middle mouse key while your cursor is in the viewport and moving your mouse around will swivel the view. You can move in whatever direction you wish, though sometimes this may seem confusing, such as when you go upside down. Just as a recap, we've gone over numpad 1 for front view, numpad 3 for right view, numpad 7 for top view, numpad 2 moving down, 4 left, numpad 6 right, and numpad 8 up. Let's go over 2 more things. To access the camera view, which would be this, you can just hit 0 on the numpad. To get out of this view, same key, 0 on the numpad. Instead of viewing front, right, and top, holding the control will inverse these buttons. 1 will be back instead of front. 3, left instead of right. And 7, bottom instead of top. Well, this is all for your first Blender tutorial. Hope you've enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe. This is Angelo from Team Spider. Thank you for watching.